Well, Jeff Cottrell, it's great to be with you on another episode of Jeff Squared. I'd like to start with a thought of the day. Is that okay?
Sure, Jeff, go ahead.
You don't know what it is. Here we go.
No,
No matter what happens in life, keep your head up. It's okay to fall apart sometimes. Tacos do it, and we still love them.
you're a deep thinker, Jeff. I'm
Okay.
impressed.
I'm
I'm
sure everyone
impressed.
watching this is laughing hysterically. I heard my wife laugh. That's good enough.
Yeah.
All right. So today we're going to talk about an important topic. We got rid of this silly stuff. We're going to talk about pricing. You see it on bulletin boards. You see people talking about it. I know you teach a lot of IICRC classes, and no doubt the business owners get together. They're like, how much should I charge? How do I charge more? So what we're going to do today is dig into that and see what we can come up with as far as raising prices, justifying it, and all those deep questions we have. And to help us with this is Jeff, who's coming this time?
I think we have Mr. Jabiran back.
All right. So let's invite him in. Is this the third time, Steve, we've had you on?
I've lost track, but yeah, I think so. Third time.
All right. So we're probably going to get another guest on just so people think that we know someone else for the next one, but we'll have you back real soon. That's for sure.
Well, I'm honored. Thank you. Just call me Taco Toburin.
Taco Tiburon. All right. So today we're talking about prices, mainly cleaning prices, such as carpet cleaning. Steve, let's start off. Give us a little history of prices, how carpet cleaning and related cleaning services, how the prices have been steadily going up like everything else, or have they been?
Good question. My guess is with all of the people watching this, I'll be preaching to the choir here, because honestly, our industry has always had an issue with this. For example, I started teaching classes 25 years ago, and I had one PowerPoint slide in there talking about pricing and what you can get from a cheerleader customer. And you want to know what? I haven't changed that PowerPoint slide in 25 years. And not only that, I did an informal, unscientific survey in our Growing Your Business Facebook group. And in that Facebook group, I asked people one simple question. How many of you raise your prices every single year? And I believe out of 171 responses, Jeff, only 14 of them said, yes, I raise my prices every year. And I'd like to think that in my Facebook group, we have the cream of the crop of the industry. And this is just so urgent. It really is. Folks, I downloaded an article from the Associated Press today, and the headline is Wages Jump by the Most on Records Dating Back 20 Years. And very simply put, we need to attract and keep better people. And the way we're going to have to do it is pay them more. And that means we need to charge more, because it says right here that in the year ending September last month, wages and salaries soared 4.2%. That's a record gain. And we need to do it too. And very simply put, that was a roundabout answer to your question, Jeff. We have not remotely kept up as an industry. We need to start now. And if the industry won't do it, I certainly hope that every one of our viewers will do it.
You know, related to that information, it seems that people expect, especially with the pandemic, prices are going up from canned beets to prime rib and more. They expect to pay more for everything. I know when we go to the store, we see it. So how does that play into carpet cleaning prices? If people are ready to pay more, shouldn't we all charge more?
You're preaching to the choir here too, Jeff. Very honestly, people have been preconditioned. That should resonate with our viewers. Preconditioned to pay more. This good old Associated Press article says inflation in the third quarter, prices rose at an annual rate of 5.3%. have this inundating them, so they expect to pay more. But here's the key: people are not going to offer to pay you more, especially your previous clients. They expect to pay more, but they're not going to say, "Hey, I just read an article saying that inflation's going up. Let me pay you 5.3% more." They won't do it. And I'm always trying to be guided by my mother's advice to me. She told me many, many years ago, "Steve, it never hurts to ask. And it never hurts to ask for more money."
So Steve, the question is there a fear of losing our longtime loyal customers if all of a sudden we raise our prices?
Yes, I'm glad you called this out. This is a huge problem in our industry. So why don't we charge more? Well, very simply put, the first one is inertia. We get busy. 1 year goes by, 2, 3, et cetera. And that's probably the main reason so many people in the Facebook survey said they don't raise their prices every year. But maybe even a bigger problem, it's fear. We're scared. And, I always in my classes, I quote of FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. 80 years ago, he said, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." Now, Steve Toburin says there is no virtue in poverty, and I'm going to stand by that. So here's your secret weapon, everybody, when it comes to raising prices on previous clients. Most people, 95% of them, cannot remember what they paid last time. You folks think about it yourself in your services out there. You don't remember how much you paid to have something done in your home, and 95% of your people won't. So what do? It's very simple. Number one, you identify when the caller calls in if they're a previous client. If they're a previous client, then you say, "Welcome back." The second thing you say is, "What are we doing this time?" They tell you, and then you say, "Your price will be this much." Bingo. 95% will just immediately book, and you're going to make a lot more profit. And for those who don't, who say, "Well, isn't that more than last time?" I've got a bonus offer for everybody here listening, watching. If you email me at steve@homefrontsuccess.com, I will send you my complete phone script titled "Booking Previous Residential Clients After a Price Increase," including how to convert them if they say, "Isn't this more than I paid last time?"
So then how much should we raise our prices then, Steve, and not freak the customer out? What would you recommend as far as a percentage?
Well, the first thing to ask yourself is, how far behind am I? Am I, and the old saying goes, I'm going to lose money on every job, but I'll make it up in volume. You don't want to be that person. So you may need to make a larger increase, but do it in a staged increase. You're not going to want to do it, all of it, immediately. And one little tip on that is do a two-tiered approach. In other words, if you really need to play catch up, do it gradually with your previous customers, but then all new customers, when you call in and you learn that you've never worked for them before, go ahead and fearlessly quote them your higher price. Now, I can't remotely go into the P&L of everybody watching this. So let me just share with you my very rough, very unscientific way that I used in my business of charging. It's what I called my point of pain approach. If my customer routinely, when I quoted the price, would say, "Wow, that's a lot more than I paid the last guy," I knew I was in my sweet spot. because then they would say to me, you know, everybody says you do a great job. Sure, let's go ahead and book it. So that's what I call my point of pain approach. And then to wrap up your question on how much to charge, every January 1st, I highly recommend to all of my students that you raise your prices at least by the CPI increase over the past year. And you say, well, that's not that much. You want to bet? For example, just to remind me, I printed out a slide from my seminar. Let me quote from it. Now, over the last 20 years, the CPI has gone up on average 3.22%. Think about that. And you go, 3.22%, that's not that much. You want to bet? Here it is. If you 10 years ago were charging 35 cents per square foot, not bad. Okay. Now, over the last 10 years, you had been raising your prices by 3.22%, just the CPI index increase, and nobody would have noticed it of all of your previous clients. Today, you would be charging 48 cents a square foot. Got that? 35 cents a foot 10 years ago, 3.2% increase. Today, 48 cents a square foot. Bingo.
Wow.
So,
If that happens, we can buy that Tesla.
ooh, more
that?
money is better than less money.
No, good information. You touched on this, my next question, but I'll ask it, and if there's more to add. If companies raise their cleaning prices, how would you recommend they justify it? After all, if prices go up, customers may say, am I getting more?
You know, you'd be surprised. Remember, Jeff, what we're selling is a service, not a manufactured good. Manufactured goods are easy to check pricing. You just do that by Googling it. A service, not so much. So one thing you can do is test your pricing with my two-tier approach. Higher prices for new customers, stay with your old pricing for previous clients. But to answer your question on how do you justify it, you don't. You don't try to justify it. How do you get people to want to pay those higher prices? It's all about 5-star reviews, word of mouth, because people will want to have you in their home and they don't mind paying more. How do you get the 5-star reviews? Use my approach of service engineering, the relationship between the technician and the homeowner to create positive moments of truth. And I have literally dozens of articles on that in my Homefront Success blog.
Interesting. So kind of going back to that subject, Steve, of our loyal customers that are calling back to reschedule, would you say it's better to raise the prices and not say anything or bring it up? Or how exactly would you say that we should do that?
Well, here's the secret sauce again, Jeff. Previous clients, simply most of them don't even remember. And new customers, many times they're clueless. But if you've been recommended, if they've seen all your 5-star reviews, they want you in their home. And they're willing, happy even, to pay a premium. Now, I'm not going to say I don't want to be Pollyanna here and everything's wonderful. It isn't out there. And sometimes over the phone, when you quote your price, they're going to hit you with what I call a smokescreen objection. That's where they say, well, let me check with my husband and I'll get back to you. Seriously? Do you really believe that? No, of course not. They think your price is too high. So you need to smoke out that objection, move behind the smokescreen. And I share a complete script, exactly how to do that. in all of my upcoming Winning Over Your Caller seminars, live seminars, and I'm delighted to share it.
Steve, you have a seminar for everything, probably even on how to use a hammer. Maybe not.
I'm still working on that one, Jeff.
Well, let's encapsulate our discussion today, Steve. Give us your 3 takeaways as we wrap this up.
Thank you. Encapsulate, interesting. Okay, I'll give them to you. Number 1, every year, raise your prices. You have to do it. We all want to attract and keep better people. And one key takeaway is that employees are demanding and probably deserve higher wages. So raise your prices every year. And even if you don't have employees, more money is better than less money. Your family deserves more money. Second one, stop living in fear. Previous clients usually can't remember exactly what they paid. So if you're bumping your prices every year, 3, 4, 5%, they're not even going to remember. And I'll cover exactly how to do that over the phone in my phone script that I'll send you if you want to email me. And then the third thing is how much to charge. Well, the vast majority of our viewers probably, Jeff, don't charge enough. You get into the old thing of trading dollars. Use my point of pain pricing. Your customer should be saying, ouch, that's more than I paid the last guy, but I hear you're great. Let's do it. That's your sweet spot. If you're nervous, do a 2-tiered approach. Charge your previous clients your old pricing and test out your new wild pricing. You can always go back down and don't let them get away. Over the phone, when they call, don't ever let somebody get away with a smokescreen objection of, well, let me check with my husband. And, by golly, I'll share a guaranteed answer to that in my Winning Over Your Caller seminars.